What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today's episode is very different. Clearly something has changed. Went ahead and got a new tent, new furniture, and a fresh start. So those of you who have been tuned into the off-grid series here, you guys will know that on this deck there used to be a big camouflage tent. That tent has failed, had to do away with it, didn't like the shape, didn't like the design, a lot of things were failing on it. Ultimately needed to upgrade. So here we have a canvas cloth inflatable tent, hot tent, removable partition in the center, vinyl windows, huge vinyl front door attachment if I want to put it on, a bug mesh as well, just a load of things going on here. However, it needs to be put together. So I've got a load of furniture coming. I've got some here today. I've got some more coming over the next week. Flooring, bedding, everything will be here inside of this tent, hopefully within a week. Today, I'm actually sick right now, so I'm not out camping. I'm just kind of kicking around the property right now, getting some stuff set up. So I want to do away with all this camping equipment and replace it with actual home furniture. That way I can utilize this on camping trips and have some fun with it out in the woods. So right now I'm assembling a little table, but it has these grates, and I purchased this because I figured it would make the perfect firewood storage rack right near the wood stove, so air can come underneath and get in it and really dry out the wood while it's situated inside of the tent. And I've got a few other things to put together today as well. So I'm going to be basically just chilling out here, cleaning up, getting some things ready, and getting the tent situated. Alright guys, so that's the first piece of furniture put together. I'm going to place it here for now and hope for the best. We'll see how close we can get it and where it should sit. Ideally, I'd like to get it rammed way back here in the corner because obviously the wood would be closer to the wood stove and dry out faster. But I'm going to run this stove and be very cautious of how hot this is getting. I really want to run it and just see, do I need to add some insulation, some heat protection on these columns or not. The stove is running really hot right now, so we'll damp that down and let it do its thing. So I'll mention that all the furniture that I ended up getting all matches, so it's all this beautiful warm wood tone and then the black steel. And like I said, it'll probably take another week, maybe a week and a half for everything to get delivered. And then the unfortunate part, I'm putting flooring in here, so I'm going to be doing a massive foam floor, so everything needs to come out one piece at a time. Now you're probably wondering, geez, why don't you just wait to do the floor and then put everything together? Well, because this is where I live and I need to have things put together now so I can continue living, because this is the tent. The other tent is outside, still balled up in a huge ball. Haven't even backed it up yet. So I'm just gonna get all this stuff basically set up. And like I said, I'm currently sick right now, battling a little bit of a cold, so it's raining out, it's somewhat warm. I might as well get everything put together, get it situated, get cleaned, and then have a good evening tonight, because last night was a little hectic. But yeah, I'm just gonna do everything that I can do, get some things situated here, and yeah, it'll be a fun reveal at the very end, because there's a lot of stuff that has to go in here, and it has to be functional. So I want to keep plugging away at some of this furniture, keep a very close eye on this, and yeah, hopefully everything goes well. Alright guys, so it has been about 2 to maybe even 2.5 weeks since I first started filming this video. That never happens. Now there's two main reasons why that happened. The first reason is I was waiting for all of this furniture to arrive so I can actually finish the video. In that time where I was actually waiting for all of this furniture to arrive, we did go through some rainstorms, snowstorms, windstorms, and a whole bunch of things just pummeling this tent. I really wanted to make sure that this tent was actually going to be able to withstand it, because as you guys know, the last tent failed, and that was an Arctic rating tent. Failed. This is not an Arctic rated tent, obviously. It's an air channel tent, but it has been doing extremely well as long as I keep the snow banged off the top or a heat source going inside that it helps melt it off. All the furniture is here. Everything has been working really, really well. So a couple notable things that are different is, well, the furniture, the floor, the bedroom, the separating wall, and the stove. So let me touch on a few of those things right now. I put the Hori 5 Max wood pellet stove in here right now today. I have that in here for probably the last week. I'm testing the stove to make sure it works, and it does a good job. I'm also finding it really helpful to put the wood stove in here, put a bag of pellets in it, and let it burn, so I can go outside the tent and take care of other tasks, go to the bus, go to the workshop, do all kinds of things, and not have to come back in here every few minutes or every hour and a half or whatever to put wood in it to keep the stove burning. Now, if you guys look really close, you probably see my breath. I have not been in the tent all day. I've been outside, I've been in the workshop and in the bus, so it is a little chilly in here. The pellet stove will heat this tent up really, really quickly, within like 15-20 minutes. So it helps heat it very, very evenly, and I don't have to feed it. Now, there's a little bit of a downside. I've got to buy bags of wood pellets, which, okay. And I only say that because I have a whole forest of free wood to burn. So it is a little bit of an extra cost at $7 a bag. Burn it every now and then. And yeah, it is what it is. So as far as the furniture goes, I went with a nice round Papasan style chair. All the furniture matches, all the wood grain. Got this coffee table here that kind of transforms into a nice little eating desk area. All the dishes are stored inside of it. Got a nice coat rack up against the door there to hang sweaters, and for the kids to put their boots underneath the rack and sit down and whatnot. Do all kinds of that stuff. I did put the separator wall back inside of the tent, and I did this for a number of reasons. Number one reason is it breaks up the tent. It gives it another room, which in my brain is another dimension. I don't have to be in one big room. I can go into a separate room. That gives it a little bit of normality as far as sticks and bricks homes. The second reason is this traps a ton of hot air. So if I'm out here and I'm not in the bedroom all day and I'm out here just doing stuff, I can drop the door and have this area rocking with heat and either burn less wood or turn the pellet stove down. At nighttime, I open up the door, I can let all the hot air go in. I can take the separator wall down in about 30 seconds, really, if I want to. I also have the option of unzipping these very large mesh windows to allow a lot of light and a lot of heat to go through. Now the flip side to that, if I put the stove out for the evening and I'm in the bedroom, I drop the door, I've got the diesel heater in the bedroom. So I can run the diesel heater and get that really, really hot and not have to worry about burning a ton of diesel fuel and not have to worry about the wood stove. So there's pros and cons, but the biggest reason I feel is I like two separate rooms. It's working for me now, and it works with my furniture layout. So now that you guys have seen this view, I'll give you guys a little bit of a look around and spin you. Now, I will say I do have the vinyl window installed on this side and obviously open. I have the opposite, so the back corner at the foot end of my bed is open. Right behind me, this wall, the head end of the bed, I have closed right now, and behind the camera I have that closed as well. The reason being, it lets in a lot of light and it's not good for filming. So generally when I am sitting in here, I do have a lot of those open so I can let more natural light in. I can see what's going on outside. It gives me a really nice feeling of being outdoors without being outdoors, and it traps the heat inside of the tent. So just keep that mindful. Yes, they do open, and there are two sunroofs up there, which you guys could probably see, which is incredible when it's snowing and raining. Watching that above from laying in the bed, and on starry nights, I kick back, I look up, I shut all the lights off in the tent. I can see the stars from inside my bed. So let me spin you guys around, show you the opposite direction, give you a little bit of a rundown over there, and then we'll move into the bedroom. Okay, so I'm going to crouch down for this next segment. Yes, I can stand up, but in order for me to get that all in frame, the camera would be way back there and it would look horrible. So what we've got going on right now is filing cabinet. That is legit a filing cabinet. Why I put a filing cabinet in here? Well, this has 3 drawers that lock, and inside of each drawer I keep all of my food. So this is my pantry. I've got coffee and drink stuff up here, then I've got like pastas and rice and sauces, and then I've got container stuff like salsa, other sauces and things like that. The reason why I want the filing cabinet is it's sealed. I can lock every single drawer. It pulls out, it looks nice. It's not a metal filing cabinet that looks ugly or anything, but it holds all my food in here. So if there are any animals or dogs that have to maybe happen to come in through the door, I don't know, maybe a squirrel gets in here, I don't want any animal being able to find food. So dog food is always put away. The dishes are down here by my feet. There's nothing in them. Anytime I eat, the food is out of the tent, the wrappers are out of the tent, over to the burn barrel. No open food. Even the food inside of here is locked inside of containers, so there's no scent, there's no trace, nothing. That takes a lot of discipline and a lot of practice, I will say that. So the rack over here, you guys saw me in the video building this. I just moved back here a little bit. Up top right now, I just have a couple things. I've got the kettle, a couple things, you know, a pot and whatnot. That actually all goes inside of the filing cabinet as well. Just haven't cleaned it off yet. So over here we've got all the firewood. Now this stuff has been here for 2 to 2.5 weeks without the wood stove in here. I've been using the pellet stove for quite a while. So this is really, really dry stuff. But you guys can see ample room for firewood storage. And then there's that window back there. Again, if I want to open that up, I can, and I do. And in the summertime, all of these doors and windows have mesh. Loads of ventilation. So spinning around, obviously we've got the Hori 5 Max wood pellet stove, and that thing is throwing a ton of heat right now. The cooktop on this is really, really nice for a big, full-size frying pan, even a very large stock pot. So we've got a stock pot behind the stove on the floor. I fill that with snow, put it on top. That's how I've been making all of my water for showering, for washroom stuff, for boiling, drinking, eating, cooking, whatever. It's all been fresh snow and rainfall when the rain does come in. This does have an oven down below, so I have been utilizing that oven a lot for making toast, for doing bagels, nachos, warming gloves, you name it. That oven has been being used quite a bit. This is a standard size hopper. I will say right now I am burning softwood pellets, and I have found out that softwood pellets burn far better in these stoves than hardwood pellets. Now, a whole hopper on max and the draft wide open will last the whole night. I usually go to bed 11 o'clock midnight, and I'm usually up at 8 o'clock. So we'll say 7.5, 8 hours burn time. I find that whole hopper will do that, and it does heat this tent very, very nicely. Last week we did have temperatures dip down to -18, -20 Celsius. This was on full blast max in the mornings, crawling out of my gigantic comforter filled bed. I did have to flick on the diesel heater just to warm up the area, enough to crawl out and put my feet on the floor. Coming into this room, very, very warm. So yes, it does heat a very large tent. Keep in mind this tent is single wall. It's very tall. There's no insulation, so all the heat is going up. And it's a cotton tent. I got the cotton tent on purpose because it's breathable. So even in the rain and snow, there's no condensation. Absolutely no leakage, no moisture, nothing. It breathes, there's no mold, nothing. It's just incredible. So that's this room. Let's take a look at the bedroom and show you guys what I did in there. All right, and so before we head into the bedroom, I do just want to show this very quickly. Let me unzip one side here, unzip the other side. The kids love this. So this, like I said, rolls up. So I can roll this all the way up and pin it open to allow all that hot air and all the light to go through the wall. There's one there, there's one here. This door also has a mesh panel. So if in the summertime, if I've got the front door open, I can open these up with mesh, and I can drop the mesh here, and it'll keep any mosquitoes or bugs out of the bedroom. It also has the solid panel to drop down to separate the tent. So I've got the camera situated in this fashion so you guys can actually see the depth of the tent. This is a queen size bed with a down duvet, Another comforter set, 4 luxurious pillows. This is not a camping tent. This is a living tent. So I've got all kinds of furniture in here. I've got beautiful views of the skylights above, and I absolutely love the sound. When it's raining or snowing in here, laying down, staring up is an absolute treat. Okay, so keep in mind I still have my boots on, and I'm trying not to dirty up my home here. But you guys will notice the bed, like I said, big queen size bed. I've got a laundry facility type storage unit over here. So this is where I throw all my dirty laundry in. I've got one for socks, boxers, one for t-shirts, and one for work pants, because generally my work pants get totally covered in tree sap and soot and fire and stuff like that. It's nice to wash those separately. I've got the Anker Solix battery unit up here, which is currently charging a camera battery. This is kind of my hub for charging my phone, flashlights, camera batteries, you name it. All happens over there. And then I've got half of it cleaned off just when I come in here. If I want to put my phone down, or if I want to put a coffee cup up there, I can do that. On the other side, I've got my dresser with all my clothing totally organized over there, and it is super, super nice. I've got to say, living in a tent is not for everybody. Living in a tent, for me, I love it. I go camping and hiking and film camping videos for a living. When I come home, wherever I want to call home, really, I can go park my truck on a beach and pop the top and live in the rooftop tent for 3 or 4 days and go wherever I want. Pull my laptop out, do some work wherever I am. I can come back to the property and have this right here in a tent. That the main reason why I love tents so much and not solid walls, I don't sleep out in the bus very often, quite rarely actually. I do work out there, I hang out with the kids out there and stuff like that, but I don't like solid walls. I like hearing this. And at nighttime when the coyotes come out, when the owls are hooting, the morning time when the chickadees are bouncing around, I can hear that. I could feel the dampness. I could smell when it's going to rain. I love it. So turning a tent into a home like this, I think, is absolutely worth it. If you're interested in it, do it. Don't even think about it, just do it. So, and as you guys can see, like I was saying, there is ample amount of room in here. I mean, I've got all this room up here. Got a hanging light here. Like I said, I've got the window behind the bed. I can open that up if I want. I've got a window on the far side I can open up. I've got the skylights, all the windows out front. You guys can really see the big picture, the depth of this tent. So, like I was saying, queen size bed, storage area. Give you guys a spin around again so you guys can look at that way. Okay, so having a look at the opposite side of the bedroom here, I've got the camera dimmed down a little bit on the exposure because I don't want these windows to be whitewashed, so you can actually get a feeling of a depth outside. So from laying in the bed looking down at the foot end, I've got a view of the snowy forest. Looking up into the skylights, I'm right underneath of 2 gigantic pine trees, snowy branches, and a big patch on this side that's clear so I can see the stars at night. And this for me is absolutely incredible. So like I was saying earlier, I've got my dresser system over here, all my clothing. I do have a metal refrigerator here. No, it's not plugged in right now. It actually does the opposite. 2 things. 1, it protects my food, again, it being locked and sealed. And 2, it stops it from freezing because it's winter time. Lock it in there. And it doesn't get too hot because of the heat inside of the tent. It will actually regulate nice and cool just from being locked away. Underneath of me, a nice wooden crate. Now this is actually an RBM crate. Wood stove did come in this. It does have locking latches. I keep all of my other foods in here like ramen noodles, rice, pasta, just dry things that don't really have to be either hot or cold. Just dry food storage, canned goods, whatnot. It makes us a great little bench. The kids love doing arts and crafts over here in front of the window, looking outside from inside the heat. Over here down on the side, I have the diesel heater ports. So right now I've got the Jackery down here. I have a kind of an interesting diesel heater setup. Not really that interesting to many people that have diesel heaters, but maybe people that are new to it and never thought about this. Most of the time your diesel heater will pull in cold air from outside and heat it and pump it into your building. Well, that's great and all, but you lose a lot of efficiency because you're taking really cold air like -20 and you're heating it up to like +20, +30, +40. Well, you're going to lose efficiency because it's really cold going to really hot. So you might not get to plus 30, you might not even get to plus 20 on the outside. So having a pipe inside, I have two. I have one that breathes the air of the tent, the warm air from the wood stove and from the diesel heater. It pulls that warm air back in through the heater and it heats it again and spits it out on a continuous circuit. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, you're going to get carbon monoxide. No, that's not true. That does not happen because the diesel heater system has combustion air and it has heating air. The combustion air, the air that burns the diesel, is sucked in from outside. It burns, it's then pushed out the exhaust pipe. That air never comes inside the tent. The air that comes inside the tent and is being recirculated is breathable air. Now again, I know some people are going to say, well, you're breathing out carbon monoxide, now you're recycling it through the system. I'm in a tent. I'm not in a hermetically sealed refrigerator. There's plenty of oxygen in here. Exhibit 1, the wood stove still burning. If there was no oxygen, it wouldn't burn. So this is a cloth tent. It is very breathable. There's always going to be little micro gaps here and there with the zipper tracks and stuff like that. This is totally fine. So I did this about 2 weeks ago, recirculating the air. Before I recirculated it, it was about minus 15. I noticed a difference. It was pumping out hot air here. I could not feel that hot air on my face from up in the bed. Putting the other pipe on, recirculating it, I could turn this on half speed and I can actually feel the hot air coming out of the diesel heater on my face running at half speed. Huge efficiency change. So that's what's going on over here. The battery down here, the diesel heater vent, a little bit of foot area here, plus a ton of storage underneath the bed because this is a raised bed. And yeah, that's basically it in here. You guys can kind of see the window over there, the window here. These air tubes make great for hanging things as well, sweaters, lights, lanterns, whatever. There's just a ton of room inside this tent. Okay, so that was a ton of information for everyone who has questions or wondering what's going on, what I've been up to, how's the tent, why did I choose this. Pretty sure I covered all of that. You guys could probably maybe make out the camper van right out the window. That has also been parked there and everything's working really good with that. Another little relaxed shack in there with the diesel heater, bed fully built out. Kids love it. Kids got a lot of options to go to the bus, the workshop, the tent, the van, all over the place. So everything is working out really, really well here so far. And I am very, very happy with the tent. I can tell you that for 1000%. Absolutely love it. So this is my little relax area here. I've been loving it. The dogs are itching to get in here, so I do got to get them out of the bus and in here shortly. Before I do that, I will bring you guys outside, show you the diesel heater setup, just so you guys can see what I'm talking about, and we'll wrap the video up from there. Alright guys, so coming out in between this rain and snow really quickly, this is the diesel heater setup. I will mention that yes, it is totally fine for this to be out in the rain and in the snow. I personally have not had any issues. So for me, it's working. So here's a little bit of a look at what we've got going on here. This tent does come with dual inputs. The reason for that is actually for an air conditioner, which I will most likely be putting in here in the summertime. But for right now, this is the tube. So this is where the air gets pulled in to be heated, and then it pushes out through this tube. So basically what I'm doing is I'm sucking in the hot air from in the tent and recycling it back through so it gets even hotter, which means I can lower the speed and lower the usage of diesel fuel in the heater to maximize the efficiency to really get the tent nice and hot. Now, this is a temporary setup. It will become more permanent with a little bit of a roof so I can protect the system. But for now, it's working. I do have the diesel heater exhaust on this side going out down towards the ground. I even have a little extension cord running inside, so if I want to power up the generator, plug that in, I can charge the battery from inside and give the entire tent more electricity if I need to. And that's kind of what this is looking like. So this was something that I did, like I said, about 2 weeks ago, and it made a huge improvement. Okay guys, so that basically wraps up the new tent, the furniture, the living situation, and the other tent is long gone. This has by far been way more enjoyable and much more livable. So, pellet stove in there for now. We'll be cycling that out with another pellet stove and another wood stove. Just kind of keeping, you know, things interesting, having fun with it. The windows open are a beautiful way to wake up in the morning with the sunlight coming through. Also looks absolutely incredible nighttime with all the vinyl windows and the light glowing outside of the tent. The stars above, I mean, there's just a lot of things going for this tent that I really do enjoy. And I'm happy with it. The name brand, I'm not even really sure of. I found it on Amazon. It was Boomlatu, I believe. And the name is on the side. I did put it in the video earlier. I don't know much about it, to be honest. I saw it, I went over the specs with a fine-tooth comb, and I clicked a purchase because it just had everything that I wanted. I wanted the vinyl, I wanted the roof, I wanted the skylight, I wanted all the accessories that came with it, and this happened to come with it. There are other brands available that are just as good. I can't speak on them. This one I can speak on because it has been working very well for 2.5 weeks in the winter. So if you guys are interested, I'm not going to tell you to buy it, and I really don't care if you do. It's just what I chose. But I will say, yes, I am very happy with it, and I'm glad I made the switch. So if you guys have any questions or comments, drop it down below. And like I said, be sure to check out the bonus content on the Instagram subscription tab if you're interested in behind the scenes stuff. And it also helps out with a little bit of the promotionary things here. So the dogs get treats from that. I do extra things with that, a little bit more gas money, longer trip, different things. And it just, all in all, it gives right back to the channel, which gives right back to the video production. So if you guys are interested, like I said, any questions or anything, drop them down below. Anything I missed, question me on, and I'll see you in the next video.